Dear listeners, how are you all? I hope you are doing your best to serve your duties with utmost honesty and love. And let's start a new story from the book Bengal Fairy Tales, written by Francis Bradley Bird. This book was first published in the year 1920 and it was illustrated by Abanindranath Thakur. So, today we are going to read a new story, and the name of the story is Strange Friends in Time of Need. So let's start. There was once an old woman, a widow. In very strained circumstances, she maintained herself by husking rice for other people and getting particles of food as reward. But poor as she was not free from being molested by a thief. Frequently, he visited her house and purloined the commonest things he could get, until at length the poor woman determined to seek the protection of the king of her country. With this purpose, she was on her way to the palace when a lump of clay, seeing her approach, said, "Where are you off to, old woman?" She replied that she was going to the king to ask for a guard to protect her from a certain thief. The lump of clay said, "Take me to your house and leave me at the threshold. I will be your guard." The woman did as she was told, but she once again set out towards the palace, not fully depending on the assurances of the lump of clay. On the road, she found a open razor. It asked her the same question as the mass of clay had done, and according to the instructions of the razor, the woman placed it close to her first sentinel in the passage leading into her room. Still, however, doubting the efficiency of her two constituted guards, she again resumed her journey. A third time she found a friend on the way, a shingy fish, noted for the sharp appendages below its head, and it advised her to put it on the steps leading into her room in a handi full of water. When she was returning home with his new recruit, she made a bomb and a frog, and desiring to add this to the number of her protectors, she carried them also to her house, and according to their instructions, placed the bomb by the side of her oven, in which the fire had not yet been extinguished, and the frog beside her bed. All her fears now vanished, and with the sense of security, she ate her sorry meal, shot her bait, and fell asleep. The thief, not knowing the preparations against him, made an attempt to enter the woman's house and trod on the lump of clay at the threshold. Not knowing what it might be that he had trodden on, he hastened to wipe it off on a patch of grass close by, and immediately the sharp razor inflicted a deep incision on his foot. The wound bled severely, and beside himself with pain, the thief hurried to the handi nearby and plunged his foot into the water it contained. The shingy fish was at once on the alert and pierced the wound with the spikes below its head, causing the wound to throb so painfully that the thief, to relieve it, placed his foot near the oven to warm it at the fire. This caused the bomb to roll into the fire and burst with a loud explosion. Several parts of the thief's body were badly burned, and the thief, in great pain, ran from one end of the room to other. The report awake the woman, and she heard the frog saying, "O buri, otna chore nachon dekhna." That means, "O old woman, wake up, see how the thief is dancing." The thief was obliged to lie down for hours quite helpless. The old woman, being of a kindly disposition, carefully tended his wound, thus heaping coals of fire on his head. So much was he affected by this that henceforth he became an honest man, and out of his small earnings fed and clothed the old woman till the end of her life. A report of this strange occurrence at her house was in time carried to the ears of the king, and not only did he bestow a pension upon her, but he also awarded her helpers in the fittest way possible. The lump of clay had a sharp roses planted on it. The razor every morning was used to shave the royal chin. The fish and the frog sported in a cistern in the palace, and as the bomb had suffered martyrdom in the old woman's service, its remains were enshrined with honor. So, my dear friends, this is the end of the story. I hope it make you understand that in our life, few mere things they are actually matters most, because knowingly or unknowingly they are guarding us. They are playing the role of guardian angel. So, please be safe. Please be happy and jolly. Shubhamastu.